This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm delighted to be joined by Natasha Jonas up here at Gallagher's Gym in Bolton. Tasha, first and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm good, I'm always good.
It's good to see. Obviously, you've got your smile still. Obviously, one thing that we always see when I come up to the gym is you're always smiling, which is nice and makes a change, obviously, in these gloomy times. But there is obviously some big news out of this camp which broke last night. Campmate of yours, Callum-Smith, secured that mega fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez. What was your reaction to it when you finally saw he'd got it over the line?
Well, obviously, we're in the gym, so we know the talks have been going on for quite a few months, and it was just a case of, is it signed? So I knew as far as yesterday that the negotiations had been done. It just needed to be signed off, and in boxing, you can't guarantee anything until it's signed. So once it was signed, it was, you know, it was all out there in the thing, and so it was good, and it's great news for the gym, for Callum, you know, for his brothers, a bit of revenge for Liam. And you'll see now that, like, you know, once someone's got a dig, the whole gym thrives off it because everyone wants to push everyone to do better.
4 weeks away from fight day for Callum, very, very short kind of actual camp. I'm sure he's been in camp for the past few months, to be fair to him, or about since lockdown had opened up. But how difficult a task is it for Callum, or are people overlooking him?
No, I think, you know, if there's anyone out there in the division that can cause him problems, Callum's that person. You know, he's not your usual tall, long-range fighter. Callum's one of them long-range fighters that can fight inside, so you don't really want to be on the end of his jab, but at the same time, you don't want to be really up close and trading with him either. So, you know, he'll give Canelo a lot of things that he needs to think about, a lot of... just thinking, and obviously Callum has known for a while that Canelo's potentially one of the people he'll be fighting, so he has been in camp. It's not like he's only got 4 weeks to prepare. We always kind of knew that they'd give us a little less time than Canelo to prepare, so he has been in the gym, he has been active, and it's just about getting the right sparring and stuff now, and as you can see, he's trading blows with TJ in there, so you couldn't ask for a better spars.
What are the keys to success for Callum on fight night?
I think, you know, not getting drawn into the occasion and just keeping his head, which Callum's quite good at, really. You know, I know there's things that he's been working on with Joe, because I see it all the time, but I don't really want to give that away, so I'm not going to say.
No, that's fair enough. Obviously, we don't want to give anything away. Moving forwards, though, and onto yourself, a lot kind of bubbling around on you for the past couple of weeks. Have you got an update at all kind of with your career, though, and kind of any kind of fights lined up?
No, not at the minute, really. There was obviously negotiations with Eddie that fell through. You know, it was supposed to be a 3-fight deal. We couldn't agree on one of the fights, which was the Harper one. So essentially all 3 fights fall through. Now, you know, I see people and I see like comments on social media, but you know, if one fight falls through out of a 3-fight deal, it all goes. And the money side of it was the same for one champion as it was for the other. But my side of the argument is that, you know, Eddie talks about the demand and, you know, the like commercialization of fights, and you know, you've got to be worth your what you're asking for. But I think a lot of the British public want to see the Harper fight more than they want to see me fight another champion. So for me, that fight's worth more. And Eddie, well, I say Eddie, it's not specifically Eddie, but you know, Matchroom didn't want to pay that slight bit more for the Harper fight, and I think that, you know, for the general public, it's worth it because that's where the demand is. So essentially, there is no fights for this year. I'm trying to get in Callum's corner for the Canelo fight so I can get over there. And yeah, that's, you know, I'm still in the gym, as you can see. I'm still sparring, I'm still keeping myself active just in case I get that call. And just, you know, mentally and physically, it's good to be in the gym anyway. And as I say, at times like this when people have got dates, it's good to be in the gym to push yourself.
With that Terri Harper about the rematch, do you see that taking place? It would be next year now, Terri having fought this past weekend, but do you think that rematch will happen at some point?
There's hope. I'd like to think so. I think it's the fight that a lot of people want to see. You know, she broke her hand. She fought really well at the weekend. I was obviously part of the Sky commentary team on that, and you know, there is no issue with me and Terri. Like, I messaged her before the fight, I messaged her after the fight. You know, it's just one of them things, and yeah, I'm just hopeful that like something will come, and if not, I'll have to put myself in mandatory position so that I can fight who I need to fight.
Do you want to touch on that card? We saw Terri victorious against Katarina Fanders. There's been a lot of talk about kind of a unification bout between her and Michaela Meyer. What are your thoughts if that was to be the route Terri was to go down?
I think one of the fights she said was Choi for the unification. That's probably a good fight for her, in all honesty. You know, the other two champions, Maya and Hamadouche, I think are a little bit hard and a little bit... I don't think she's quite ready for them two yet. But yeah, they're good fights, and obviously, I keep saying it, but the good thing about female boxing at the minute is that everyone wants to fight the best and no one wants to duck anyone, so the fights are there to be made, and you know, they're the ones that people want to see. Unifications are possible. Yeah.
Katie Taylor, another woman who's been mentioned as a possible opponent for yourself. What did you make of what was a very, very, very good performance from her against Miriam Gutierrez, who just was tough as nails on the night?
Yeah, there was times that you think, right, the referee's going to stop it now, and then she'd throw a punch, and then you're like, right, you can't stop it, and you know, hats off to her. She's got probably one of the best chins I've seen. She got hit with a big shots and she still stayed on her feet. And I know that Katie, you know, is a good puncher, good repertoire, good speed. So yeah, she really good performance. She actually, I think it was John Dennon asked the question, and she actually half called me out in one of the I think it was in one of the second out things. So yeah, you know, as I say, as far as champions go, I've always said I will come back in boxing for a world title. I believe I'm good enough. It's just about putting myself in the position to do that. And, you know, if you've got a belt anywhere from super feather to probably, you know, welter, then I'm coming.
And then the final one from that one I just want to touch on is Rachel Ball beating Guanini. What did you make of Rachel's performance?
Yeah, I'm quite close to Rachel. You know, I think she's been up here sparring. She's improved a lot. You know, she's took a lot of confidence from the Courtney fight, and she's invested in herself. And I think once you get to the step up in levels and get to that world title contender stages, that you need to do that, because you know, you become a target and people want to get you. And I know Shannon Courtney will be right on her tail because she wants the rematch and stuff. But you know, if she had a great performance. It was a step up, and she proved her worth, and she won it. There was no ifs or buts. She won that fight. So.
All right, Tasha, I know you've got to shoot off now, so I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for your time as always, and I will speak to you soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
No, thank you.